Hello again. One of the things which most of us know is that when large numbers of single young men are gathered together, especially when they are penniless and bored, there is often trouble. This is the case at football matches with large groups of soldiers on leave, uh, groups of illegal immigrants, practically anything else you care to name. It is, as you might say, the nature of the beast. We all know this, and few of us are keen to see crowds of aimless young men milling about in the neighbourhood where we live. None of this has anything to do with ethnicity, race, or immigration status. A lot of the time, it's possible to steer clear of such groups of adolescents and men in their 20s. For many people, especially those living in quiet villages or seaside towns, it is no longer possible because their government is forcing the situation upon them. They're doing this by block booking hotels and then filling them up with young men who have arrived in the country illegally. Because these men have little money and nothing else to do, they tend to hang round the streets, staring balefully at people. It is also in the nature of young men under such circumstances to whistle at girls, try and engage them in conversation, and occasionally force their attentions on them by means of sexual assault, including rape. This is one of the very powerful reasons which people have for not wanting hundreds of young men to be dumped in their village or town. They know that their wives and daughters are likely to be molested, and this makes folk angry. When a hotel in Skegness was commandeered by the Home Office, it was immediately observed by those living in the town that girls as young as 13 or 14 being stopped in the street, sometimes on their way home from school, and pestered by young men whose only interest seemed to be sexual. It was said by many people that it was only a matter of time before there was an unpleasant incident. 2 weeks ago, 33-year-old Syed Gomer appeared at Lincoln Crown Court, charged with raping a woman in a park in Skegness. Needless to say, he doesn't speak English, and the services of an Arabic interpreter were required. He's a resident, or was a resident until he was put in prison on remand, at the hotel where the asylum seekers are staying. Cases of alleged rape like this are uncommon, but the harassing of girls is not. Even when they're not actually being a nuisance like that, the young men from such places have a habit of hanging around in children's playgrounds and parks, smoking and staring at women. This creates an edgy and undesirable atmosphere. A park, which was once a nice place to go and enjoy the sunshine, becomes instead somewhere that people avoid. It is for this reason that local people are now banding together to oppose the block booking of hotels in this way to dump illegal immigrants in their town. Local authorities are opposing the Home Office through the courts, but of course the government has unlimited money to fight the matter legally. It is this sort of thing which is now reaching, perhaps I might describe it as a crisis point. It's not just in one or two places now. A lot of towns and villages have said enough, and attempts to open new hotels for asylum seekers being met with legal opposition and pickets by local residents. I rather fancy that there's a hardening of a mood and that this is a turning point. People are not going to put up with it anymore.